a $6,000 repair bill. That is what a collapsed AFM lifter costs on a Chevy 5.3-liter V8, and I have personally pulled more of these failed lifters out of Silverado engine bays than I can count. But I've also seen guys destroy a perfectly good engine with a $50 intake they grabbed off Amazon. So today we are going through 13 Chevy mods that are actually worth your money, and 5 that will flat out kill your engine. Number 1, LED Headlight Upgrade. I am starting here because this is the mod where every single Chevy owner agrees. The stock halogen headlights on Silverado trucks and Tahoe models are terrible. I have driven brand new trucks off the lot and could barely see the road. You swap in a set of last fit LA Plus bulbs for $50 to $90 a pair, and it is like driving a completely different truck at night. For the best beam pattern that will not blind oncoming traffic, Diode Dynamics SL1 bulbs will set you back around $150. Quick tip: make sure the LED chip sits vertical inside the housing, or your beam pattern will scatter everywhere. Now, before we get to the mods that will literally save your engine from a multi-$1,000 failure, there are a few daily upgrades that pay for themselves immediately, and I promise the engine-saving stuff is coming. Number 2, spray in bed liner. I cannot tell you how many Chevy truck beds I have seen rusted out under a drop-in plastic liner. Those plastic liners trap water and road salt underneath, and they slowly eat through the metal. A spray-in liner from Lined Hex bonds directly to the bed and prevents rust instead of causing it. Line X Premium with UV protection goes for about $650 to $850, and it comes with a lifetime warranty. I have seen these coatings hold up for 15 years or more of heavy use with no issues. Number 3, Husky floor liners. This used to be a WeatherTech conversation, but the forums have completely flipped. WeatherTech liners on Silverado models have been curling at the edges and bunching up near the door sill. Husky X-Act contour liners fit tighter, grip the floor better, and come with a lifetime warranty instead of WeatherTech's 3-year coverage. They also cost less. Figure on $150 to $220 for the full set. Now this next mod, nobody thinks about it until they need it. Number 4, Tonneau Cover. A tonneau cover keeps your Silverado bed dry, gives you a slight bump in fuel economy from reduced drag, and just makes the truck look more finished. The Truxedo Trexport soft roll-up, priced from $200 to $400, is the one I see on more trucks than anything else. If you want something harder and more secure, the Backflip MX4 will cost $900 to $1,100, and it can hold 400 pounds on top. Fair warning though, no tonneau cover is truly waterproof. They handle normal rain fine, but will leak at the corners in a heavy downpour. And speaking of value, this next one is 5 mods for the price of 1. Number 5, the $100 bolt-on bundle. 5 cheap mods that show up in every best cheap mod conversation on every Chevy forum. First, the DZ Tailgate Assist, $30 to $50, and it keeps your Silverado tailgate from slamming down like it is trying to break your shins. Once you have one, you will slam every other truck's tailgate because you forget they are not all that gentle. Second, a full LED interior light kit for $10 to $30. It replaces every dim yellow bulb with clean white light. Third, GM rear wheel well liners, about $80 to $100. Many Silverado trucks skip these from the factory and they cut road noise significantly. Fourth, a center console organizer tray for $15 to $30. Fifth, LED reverse lights for about $15 to $30. All 5 together, you are looking at $150 to $240 total. Now those first 5 mods improve your daily life with the truck, but the next 3 These might save you from a repair bill that costs more than some used cars. And if your Chevy has a 5.3 or 6.2 liter V8, pay close attention. Number 6. Oil Catch Can. This is the mod I wish every Chevy V8 owner would install on day one. Your engine produces oil vapor as a normal part of running. That vapor gets recycled back into the intake, and over time it leaves a nasty sludge coating on everything inside. That sludge leads to oil consumption problems and puts extra stress on the parts that are already the weakest link in these engines. A catch can trap that gunk before it gets back into the intake. How much gunk? I was reading about a Silverado owner who drained 16 ounces of oil and water sludge out of his catch can in 10,000 miles. That is a full pint of crud that would have been coating the inside of his engine. The UPR Pro Series, around $200 to $350, is considered the best setup right now. The Elite Engineering E2, at $175 to $300, is another solid option. Drain it every 2,000 to 3,000 miles, and drain it more often in cold weather. But the catch can only handle one half of the problem. This next mod handles the other half, and I think it is the single best dollar for dollar investment on any Chevy V8. Number 7. AFM and DFM Disabler. GM built these V8 engines to shut down half their cylinders when you are cruising to save fuel. Sounds smart on paper. The problem is the parts that make that happen, the lifters, are constantly cycling on and off, and they wear out. When one of those lifters collapses, it takes the camshaft with it, and you are staring at a $4,000 to $10,000 repair. A plug-in disabler tells the engine to keep all 8 cylinders running all the time, which takes the stress off those lifters. The range technology device plugs into the OBD port in about 30 seconds, and the best part is it leaves zero trace on the computer when you unplug it. Your dealer will never know it was there, so your warranty stays clean. The basic unit will cost you about $100 to $130 for older trucks. For 2019 and newer Silverado models, the Pulsar LT at around $580 also adds throttle response adjustment and tire size calibration. Number 8. Transmission, cooler and thermal bypass valve fix. GM put a thermal bypass valve in the 6-speed, 8-speed, and 10-speed transmissions that does not let fluid reach the external cooler until it hits 190 degrees Fahrenheit. That means the fluid recirculates inside the transmission uncooled for way too long, especially when you are towing. I have seen temperatures hit 280 degrees Fahrenheit on Silverado trucks pulling trailers in summer. That is how you cook a transmission. The cheapest fix is a superior transmission bypass valve that opens at a lower temperature for $20 to $50. A Silverado owner on the forums reported his temperatures dropped from 191 degrees Fahrenheit down to 144 degrees Fahrenheit just from that swap. Step up to a Mishimoto Direct Fit transmission cooler kit at $350 to $500 if you tow regularly. Before the cooler, temperatures hit 208 degrees Fahrenheit when towing. After the Mishimoto, temperatures maxed at 170 degrees Fahrenheit. That is the difference between a transmission that lasts 200,000 miles and one that needs a $5,000 rebuild at 80,000 miles. Now we are getting to the mods that actually change how your truck sounds, drives, and stops. Number 9. Catback exhaust. Let me be upfront. A catback exhaust on a stock 5.3 is going to give you maybe 5 to 15 horsepower. You are not buying this for speed, you are buying it for sound, and a quality exhaust on a Chevy V8 sounds incredible. Borla S-Type is the one I see recommended the most across every Silverado forum. It has a deep, aggressive tone at idle, zero drone on the highway, and a 1,000,000-mile warranty in stainless steel. It goes for about $900 to $1,300. If drone is your biggest concern, Corsa Sport uses a special resonator design that kills cabin vibration better than anything else. One note for 2019 and newer trucks. When you swap the exhaust, you lose the factory exhaust valve that keeps things quiet during cylinder deactivation. Without it, the engine sounds like a lawnmower in 4-cylinder mode. Pair it with the AFM Disabler from number 7, and that problem disappears. Number 10. Cold air intake. Here is where I'm going to save you some money. The stock Chevy airbox on the Silverado is already a cold air intake. It pulls air from the front of the truck through scoops in the fender well. A $300 to $400 aftermarket intake on a stock tune is going to net you maybe 5 to 9 horsepower at the wheels, and only at wide open throttle. What you are really paying for is the intake sound. If you want that sound, the Air-Aid MIT tube at $100 to $150 has been dyno tested to produce the same gains as full systems that cost 3 times as much. One thing to watch out for: oiled filters like some of the popular reusable ones can leave oil residue on the airflow sensor. General Motors has a service bulletin about it, and some dealers will deny a warranty claim if they find one in there. If you are picking up what I am putting down, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. More Chevy content is coming. Now this next mod is the one that completely changes how your truck feels to drive. A proper custom ECU tune on a stock 5.3 liter will wake the whole truck up. You can see 15 to 25 extra horsepower, no more sluggish throttle response, firmer transmission shifts, and it can disable active fuel management all at once. The two names that come up over and over are Diablo Tune, around $300 to $500 total with free lifetime retunes, and Black Bear Performance through a professional grade tuning platform at $700 to $900. Diablo has a crazy reputation on the forums, and every owner I have talked to backs it up. One warning though: unlike the plug-in disabler, an ECU tune is detectable. The dealer diagnostic computer plugged into your Silverado can see calibration numbers and flash counts, and even flashing back to stock leaves evidence. Still under warranty? Wait and use the plug-in disabler until coverage expires. Number 12. Bilstein 5100 leveling shocks. The factory rake on a Silverado, where the front sits lower than the rear, drives most owners crazy. A 2-inch front level fixes that, but the method matters. Cheap spacer kits just slap a puck on top of the stock strut. They level the truck but do nothing for ride quality. Bilstein 5100 adjustable shocks at $250 to $400 for the pair replace the worn factory struts and level the truck at the same time. A buddy of mine switched from a rough country kit to the Bilstein setup and said the ride quality was not even comparable. Keep it at 2 inches or less and you will not need additional components. Go past 2.5 inches without upgraded upper control arms and you are asking for ball joint problems, which brings us to the engine killers. Number 13. Power Stop Z36 brake upgrade. Your Silverado can weigh 5,000 to over 7,000 pounds, and its brakes were designed for cost, not performance. Hook up a trailer and the math gets scary. The Power Stop Z36 truck and tow kit uses heavy-duty ceramic brake pads built for trucks that tow. A full 4-wheel set goes for about $400 to $600, and you will feel the difference the first time you hit the brakes with the trailer behind you. A suburban owner running 34-inch tires said it was the single biggest improvement he made to his truck. This is a safety mod, plain and simple. Now those are the 13 mods worth your money. But before you go shopping, you need to know what to avoid. These next 5 mods? I have watched each one destroy a perfectly good Chevy engine. Engine killer number 1, cheap Amazon and eBay cold air intakes. There is a massive difference between a $300 intake from a reputable brand and a $50 intake from a mystery seller on Amazon. Cheap intakes route the filter element low behind the bumper with no bypass valve and no sealed airbox. A young guy drove his Silverado through a moderate puddle with a budget intake on his 5.3. He sucked up water through the intake tube and hydro-locked the engine. Water does not compress, and when it enters the combustion chamber, it bends connecting rods. His engine needed rods, plugs, and oil flush and electrical components replaced. And he got lucky. Full hydro lock on a Chevy 5.8 typically runs $5,000 to $10,000 for a rebuild. Spend less than $200 on an intake and you are buying a liability. But a bad intake only wrecks the engine. This next one can wreck the whole truck while your family is inside it. Engine killer number 2, cheap lift kits on independent front suspension trucks. When you lift a Silverado, the front ball joints end up working at an angle they were never designed for. Cheap kits skip the parts that keep your front end aligned properly. I read about a guy who installed a 2-inch strut spacer without upgraded upper control arms. The passenger side ball joint failed in 4 months. The driver side failed 4 months after that, doing 65 miles per hour on the expressway with 3 kids in the truck. Another guy with a budget leveling kit had a ball joint snap while his pregnant wife was in the passenger seat, stranding them miles from anywhere. When a ball joint fails at speed, the front wheel folds under and the truck is often totaled. Spend the money on quality components that include proper upper control arm correction. Your family is in that truck. Now this next one is tempting because it sounds free. Just remove a part and get more power, right? Not exactly. Engine killer number 3, straight piping and cat deletes. I had a truck come into the shop with a cat delete, and the owner could not figure out why his check engine light would not go away, and his fuel economy tanked. Here is what happens. The sensors behind the catalytic converter keep tabs on whether it is working. You remove the converter, and those sensors lose their reference point, and the computer starts dumping too much fuel into the engine. That kills fuel economy, reduces power, and the check engine light on the Silverado dashboard becomes a permanent fixture. The common spark plug spacer trick to fool the sensor usually works for a few hundred miles before it throws a code anyway. On the legal side, federal regulators collected over $13 million in fines in 2024 alone. Individual fines can reach over $5,000 per violation per day. A catback exhaust gives you the sound without any of these headaches. And if you think that is an expensive mistake, wait until you hear what happens when owners try to fix the active fuel management lifter problem on the cheap. Engine killer number 4, half measures on AFM delete. This is where I see owners waste the most money. When an AFM lifter collapses on a 5.3, the instinct is to replace the bad lifters and move on. Some owners swap in aftermarket lifters to save money, and then the lifters fail again. A guy I read about on an oil analysis forum replaced his failed lifters with aftermarket units, and they collapsed again within a year. Putting new factory AFM lifters back in is not much better. A Silverado owner had dealer-replaced lifters fail in less than 100 miles. Another truck came through with an $8,500 lifter and cam repair bill at 72,000 miles. If you are already paying to open up the engine, the only permanent fix is a full AFM delete, a non-AFM camshaft, standard lifters, new lifter trays, and an ECU tune. That runs about $3,200 to $6,000 at an independent shop. Sounds like a lot until you compare it to paying $3,000 to $5,000 2 or 3 times for the same repair that keeps failing. Engine killer number 5, aggressive tuning on stock internals. The stock bottom end on a 5.3 or 6.2 can handle more than people think. With a proper tune, these engines are reliable up to about 500 horsepower at the rear wheels. The problem starts when owners push past that or run E85 on a stock fuel system. The stock fuel pump and injectors max out, the fuel system cannot keep up at the worst possible moment, the engine starves for fuel, and that is when rods bend and pistons melt. I have seen the aftermath of a connecting rod letting go on a 6.2 that was pushed too far. The oil pan fills with metal shrapnel, and you are looking at $7,000 to $12,000 for a crate engine. Want big power? Budget for the supporting mods first. The engine can take a lot, but it cannot take more fuel demand than the fuel system can supply. Alright, that is the full breakdown. 13 mods that earn their price tag, and 5 that could earn you a tow truck ride. If you want to save money without buying a single part, I made a video about free reset tricks you can do in your driveway in a few minutes, and those will save you a trip to the dealer. That video is on screen now.